So Cameron, Vorias, thank you very much.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll start again because we'll edit it. So,
Yep.
sorry. So Cameron, Vorias, thank you very much for joining us here at the 13th Coltrans China. So you are Managing Director of Sojitz Trading Company, coal mining company.
Okay.
Can we cut as I go along?
Do you want me to stop you, or do you want me to just let you go ahead?
I'll do it one more time, and then please do stop me.
Because I'm not MD of the trading company.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, there are a lot of details. Please do interrupt me. Yeah.
I'll stop now.
So Cameron Vorias, Managing Director of Sojitz Coal Mining, thank you very much for joining us at the 13th Coltrans China. So the first question that I'd like to ask you is, you mentioned a little bit in your presentation about the opportunities for Chinese investors to move into the Australian market. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about the challenges that you foresee.
I think investing in Australia is still got a lot of upside, but the challenges that I see going forward, obviously, is to keep mining costs down at a level that you can still make money in this market. Being the miners that we are a very low-cost mining operation with low overhead, so I guess we're in a great position to be able to do that. But to find a resource that's able to sustain itself economically in this environment, I think is a unique challenge. But again, I'm very positive about where the market's going to in the future. I feel that coal is still a great asset to have. I think there's a long-term, viable and sustainable business platform for coal in the future. Going forward from there, I think for a Chinese company coming to Australia is really understanding the regulatory environment. And that's why we believe it's important to get to partner up with somebody that's Australian, that knows the business well, knows the government well, knows how to, I guess, use the regulatory process to bring their operations on board, and therefore utilise also their hub of their other operations to make the lowest cost so they can maintain themselves in this difficult market.
So on that subject, Sojitz coal mining is unique, perhaps, in that you operate or you're establishing a joint venture with a Chinese company in Australia. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
I mean, we're one of only probably one or two operations that are starting up a brand new operation in this very difficult market, which says that the collaboration between both groups is a very positive one. The joint venture will be a 50-50 joint venture between the Chinese company called UND, which is a subsidiary of Heaven Chemicals here in China, and our own organisation, Sojitz Coal Mining. At the end of the day, though, we'll be the operator and we'll be the constructor of that mine. Both companies will have the ability to market the coal into either China or Japan or Korea, depending on what prices are going on at that particular point in time. The company will be managed by a management committee, which will comprise of both the Chinese and the Japanese. So it'll be a unique relationship from that perspective alone. I don't think there's another one of those in Australia, if not around the world at the moment, in coal mining anyway, where we've got a Japanese and a Chinese joint venture partner. But in that respect, I'm sure it'll have its unique challenges to be able to make that work. But we've done a lot of hard work together to make sure that we've put in systems and processes to make sure that we don't end up in deadlock situations, and the mine will be a profitable mine in the future. We're very confident about that.
Okay, and this isn't your first Coltrans conference.
No.
Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about what elements of this Coltrans China conference you've enjoyed and where you've found most value in attending.
Yeah, as you said, it's not my first. I've attended Coltrans Asia in Bali. I presented last year in Coltrans India, and again in Coltrans today in China. And for me, it's about all the networking. Without a doubt, I don't have a huge exposure in China at this present point in time in my business. Most of my business is done in Japan and Korea and other smaller powered utilities around the world. So for me, starting up a brand new joint venture with a Chinese company, it gave me the ability to reach out to the Chinese community, the coal mining community and users community. I'm also sit on the board of two other coal companies that are primarily looking at the Chinese buying side of things to bring their coal into China. So this was a unique opportunity for me to be able to look at pitching where I can those particular coals that I sit on the board for, plus my own coals with Sojitz, to be able to strike up those networks and those relationships, because doing business in Asia is all about relationships. And it's not about just feeding coal in and getting paid for it. It's about building a long-term relationship, and that's what these conferences are great for.
Okay, well, Cameron, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thanks, that was great. Yeah.